go. Let's stop talking about vintage. Let's go watch some.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like Andy Probasco is on the left of your screen. Kess Pyromancer. Love it. Both these guys won their first round. I don't think Brassman had any buys. So
No,
I think
so.
those are legit earned wins.
Let's see.
But let's get off to the races.
See Andrew rocking a Phyrexian tattoo on his right arm. I kind of love that.
On the play with the Bazaar, and now you'll see Brassman slouch. What does he have in the sideboard? You get one of these blue decks. I mean, Kess Pyromancer, any of the sort of Turbo Xeroxy cantrip heavy blue decks, they're not good at racing Dredge.
No.
And in game one, that's usually what you have to do. Like, you have to race. Oh, he's got Black Lotus in his hand. That is how you race. It usually takes something like, you know, a Black Lotus fueled something.
Say it's Chandra? Yeah.
Is that actually fast? I mean, it's exciting.
Oh, today is off to a great start.
Oh, we got a reader.
Yeah, you don't really expect that one.
No, I do not begrudge him reading this card.
Yeah, especially as a Dredge player. That one doesn't pop up too much. So it's nice, Andrew, with the 4 Leyline of the Void in the main deck. Andy might be able to do something this game because his Snapcaster and Kess package won't be disrupted by it.
Chandra doesn't have any abilities that are particularly relevant to Dredge, though.
No.
Does she?
She could pop off a zombie every now and then, but nothing really right now.
Yeah, it seems like it's a value card in a matchup where Brassman really needs to race.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Off to the races. Andrew had his Bazaar. Does he have cards with the word Dredge on them?
Yeah.
Well, go
Looks
Gary
like he does.
Thug. And a couple of Bloodghasts.
All right, those are all relevant, that's for sure.
Yeah, he kind of wants to hit off this Thug, though. If he misses on a Dredger here, it could slow him down.
Good. Moment of truth.
Third Bloodghast. Got another Thug. And an
Okay.
Icarid. Dredge the Thug.
Yeah, so he'll have... It looked like he had...
There's a Grave Troll.
There we go.
Yeah, so this is during his upkeep. This is usually the way you play Dredge. Bazaar in the upkeep, get some dredging going on, and then put the Dredgers back so that you can pull one with your draw step. Although he'll actually be getting the Grave Troll with his draw step, I'm sure.
And the Dread Return goes in the bin, which will be useful since he definitely has 3 guys to bring back this turn.
Yeah, well, what he wants now is Bridge from below.
Yeah.
If he hits bridges, there's 1 bridge, 2 bridge. I think we're done. Is this a turn 2 kill?
Because you have...
assuming he has a land in his hand, he gets to go 3 Bloodghast. Dread Return will make 6 zombies. And we saw Dragon Lord Mulligan. I think we may have a turn 2 kill.
Math looks pretty good on that.
Well, the real question is, does Andy have a Force of Will?
And it looks like he does.
And no therapies. So Andrew Ward has to just go for this. Normally, the Dredge player would like to use Cabal Therapy and try to knock Force of Will out of the opponent's hand, but didn't spill a Cabal Therapy, so...
Yeah, I guess 6 zombies will have to do for now.
Right, right. Yeah, the good news, Andy Probasco, the good news is you're not dead. The bad news is your opponent still gets 12 power worth of zombies.
Yeah. There they are. Might see Chandra start picking them off to the best of her ability.
Yeah, if that Dread Return had resolved, Dragon Lord Mulligan would have given all the zombies haste, and they would have attacked alongside the Dragon Lord. I guess technically that's only 18 damage. It wasn't actually. It wasn't even a turn 2 kill.
No. Close enough.
Would have only been 18. Realistically, it might have been 12 and killed Chandra.
Yeah. Surprising that Flamekin Zealot would have been the kill, obviously, if it hadn't been Force of Will. But
yeah, so you're right. There's a window, the window of exactly 6 zombies where Flamekin Zealot is better than Dragon Lord Mulligan. I prefer Dragon Lord Mulligan, and he can't beat the zombies. He doesn't really have a sweeper, so just being able to trigger the bridge those 3 times, bridges those 3 times is good enough.
So
anyway, I prefer Dragon Lord Mulligan to Flamekin Zealot. There's this tiny window of damage numbers where Flamekin deals more damage, but There's also this card Moat that some people play, and just having a flyer in your deck is, I think, worth it. I mean, being able to fly over a Moat, I mean, you can win games that way.
Right.
I mean, every once in a while, you can. It helps for Ensnaring Bridge too, which is super narrow and you'd think would never come up, except it actually came up for me in a Vintage Super League match. So
okay.
I don't think that's enough to swing it, but I think the existence of Moat is a relevant thing. That said, while I like Dragonlord Kolaghan better than Flamekin Zealot, I think if you say, well, I want to have a flyer in my Dredge deck so that I don't lose to Moat, I actually think Grizzlebrand is better still.
Grizzlebrand's pretty nice, yes.
Like
as an engine to basically go through your entire deck and
You're
find
like,
the engine you actually
I dread
want.
return my Grizzlebrand. How about we draw 7 cards? I mean, Dredge 49 or whatever.
Yeah, that'll probably get through the deck pretty easily. I also like Dragonlord Kolaghan as a plan C, I suppose, at exiling the Icarid, which does come up sometimes. Sometimes you just need that that extra hasty 3/1.
It is a black creature. All right, let's see the deck list and see what we got to work with. Probasco's Sideboard, 1 Ravenous Trap, 2 Tormod's Crypt, 3 Grafdigger's Cage. Looks like he's on 6 anti-dredge cards.
Okay, and we have Andrew Ward. He's going. He doesn't have the Hollow One Gurmag Angler package that we've seen crop up recently. No, he's all anti-hate cards. He's got 4 Mindbreak Trap, 4 Ingot Chewer, 3 Wismare, and 2 each of Nature's Claim and Barbarian Ring.
Yeah, this is I want to deal with your hate cards. This is the traditional Dredge sideboard package of, all right, I need to be able to kill a Grafdigger's Cage. I need to be able to kill whatever, force you to blow your Tormod's Crypt. And I'm going to try to make you draw 2 or 3 hate cards to beat me instead of just losing to 1.
Exactly. Be interesting to see how many of these he brings in, having only seen Chandra and Preordain that game from the looks of it.
Right. They did. It was Black Lotus, Chandra, Force of Will. I mean, he knows he's up against blue-red value-ish. He'll
Blue and Chandra.
It doesn't even matter that much what Probasco's plan, what his deck really is. It's what are his hate cards. That's what you want to know, and you kind of have to guess. Usually they're artifacts. You see the Wispares there because sometimes they are enchantments. This is where a lot of the power of that Hollow One package you're talking about comes from.
Exactly.
I don't have to care what your hate cards are now. I want you to draw them, clunk up your hand while I just attack you with a 4/4.
Exactly. Be interesting. The Shattering Spree that Andy had in the main deck. He might just keep that around, knowing that Hollow One is something he might come across, depending on how many things he has to board out.
No, it's a great point. It is much harder to sideboard against Dredge now. If you think they might have the Techie Hollow One plan, suddenly you have to leave your Plows in, your Force of Wills. I don't want those cards in my deck against Herd's version of Dredge, the old version. It's yet another reason Dredge might be a big player this weekend.
Yeah. The very existence of it right now is just keeping people on their toes.
True story. Ryan Glacken on the back table, also on Dredge.
Oh, yeah.
Took game 1.
He told me an interesting play that happened in the first round, whereas he was sitting on 3 cards and his opponent did not see the line of Ancestral Recall target you.
He got himself decked?
He did not get himself decked. He was praying that he wasn't getting himself decked, and he ended up winning the round because he did not get decked.
Nice.
So he was pretty happy about that, gloating about it on Facebook.
Another back table update. Rich Shea got his first game.
Good. Rich
is on Ravager Shops.
Very, very solid choice. I've seen him play around with that a bit on his stream as well as on the VSL stream.
Yeah, no, I had Rich on Shops in my head. I've seen him playing a lot of that. It is very, very good right now. So that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. Rich tends to go for the best strategy in his mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some of that on camera over the weekend. It's funny how the deck, it's just turned into a creature deck.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be beatable. The fact that all they're doing is summoning creatures really quickly and trying to attack you with them.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. If I had to pick something for this weekend, it would be Shops, just because I love attacking with creatures.
Nice. Oh, I'd be trying to tinker out Blightsteals against you. Do you have any Metamorphs?
Probably not. I never do.
I love the way the Metamorphs have just left the Shops decks. Yeah. Not all of them, but most players show up without them now.
Most of the time, yeah.
which makes Blightsteel Colossus and no Tangle Wires either. Like Tangle Wire and Metamorph are really the counters to the Blightsteel Colossus plan. So.
It was interesting to see how the deck evolved when it lost Thorn, that it got more creatures after it lost Thorn.
It's a little ironic.
Yeah. It kind of went off of Tangle Wire as it was approaching restriction time and then decided to not bring them back.
All right. After sideboarding against Dredge, always a more interactive matchup, and I just saw Grafdigger's Cage enter Andy's hand.
I think I saw a few.
I thought I saw multiples as well. Oh, geez. Tormod's Crypt, Black Lotus, and Andrew Hurd with the Mulligan.
No. Not surprising.
Yeah, I mean, at some level, Dredge's turn 0 is pretty simple. If Bizarre, keep. If not Bizarre, Mulligan.
Mm-hmm.
You could literally Mulligan all the way down to 1 card if you have to.
And then still win.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that 1 card is so good at enabling that you certainly can win off just a Bizarre.
Okay, so there are 3 cages, along with Black Lotus in Andy's hand. Might see a few of those hit play on the first turn.
I mean, if his mana is a Black Lotus, then you're just hoping your opponent doesn't have Shattering Spree or
Serenity.
Or Serenity's the scary one. Some sort of echoing card.
Yeah.
Serenity is probably the only one that actually sees any play, but it doesn't see much play.
No, not much play. Not in Andrew's sideboard today. Yeah, they've Dredge can dip into some interesting sideboard cards. I've seen people talk about Firestorm as kind of bringing that back as dealing with some of the creature-heavy shop decks.
Sure, that's interesting.
Yeah.
He's 6 hate cards in his sideboard. Andy Probasco has drawn 4 of them in his opening hand.
Yeah, let's just hope that he finds something a bit more proactive to do after all that's said and done on the first turn.
Right. Well, first we got to find out if Andrew Hurd can find a Bizarre. 5 cards, no Bizarre. Let's shuffle some more.
Hopefully we'll find it and have a game.
So you'd be running shops?
I would be running shops. I love a creature deck. The creature decks that I've played in the past aren't so good anymore. But
what have you played in the past?
There's a deck called Noblefish that I've played quite a bit way back. I'd have to say I haven't played it in about 5 years at this point.
Okay.
Or at least not well. I've tried it a bit online recently and not had the best results, but it's always worth trying every year or so. But man, it's just not good in it right now, and the shop decks are so aggressive that I might as well play that instead if I want to be playing Wasteland.
Makes sense. About 4 cards. I didn't see one. Nope.
Nope.
The deck I'd love to be playing is a bargain deck. It's close.
Yeah.
It is close. It's another one where, okay, are people playing Leovolds? Are people playing Notion Thieves? Are people playing Stony Silence? If that fades, Bargain is, I think, the most ridiculous, most powerful card in the format, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Like, the deck is, you just have to get this one permanent into play, and then you just win from any position at any time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was playing around with it when it was unrestricted. It was a card that was definitely on my radar until the results on the challenge, and you're playing with the deck, though. It didn't really get any kind of spotlight on it.
Yeah. No, I I think people should be messing around with it more. I mean, recently unrestricted.
Mm-hmm.
There's still the ability to just sort of find the right way to play it. I think show and tell is the right way to get it into play.
Mm-hmm.
But
Certainly
I mean,
the cheapest.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a blue card, so you can play it with Force of Will if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
That's the there's a deck saved in my Magic Online account right now called Better Bargain. Instead of the one I played in Vintage Super League, I think it probably is better to go with Force of Wills rather than maxing out on defense grids and duresses.
Okay.
Put Force of Wills in your deck. Mental missteps.
Mm-hmm.
That's the version I've played most recently in the leagues a bit, and yeah, it's close. You do get those games though where like you show and tell out a bargain and they show and tell out a revoker.
Yeah.
Or a notion thief. Those games are a problem.
You did everything right, and just your opponent
Yeah,
also wants to show you something, and it's not what you want to see.
I tried another version of it, which was Burning Wish based.
Okay.
Like you can Burning Wish gives you access to more show and tells, right? You have one show and tell in the sideboard.
Mm-hmm.
You can put your Yawgmoth's Will in the sideboard.
All the good stuff.
You get to put your Tendrils of Agony in the sideboard, which
Mm-hmm.
is great, right? You now have these Burning Wishes in your deck instead of having to have a Tendrils. That is a dead draw if you're not ready to win the game.
You run stuff like Demonic Consultation then. And not
Yeah,
have to worry
absolutely.
about
If your Tendrils is in the sideboard, you get to run Consult. All right. Looks like we've gone through Serum Powder and another hand without a shop. Meanwhile, Andy Rubasco's like, why am I wasting? I drew 4 hate cards. Why is this the game where you're going to mulligan into Oblivion? Can't you just mulligan into Oblivion in Game 3? Or Andy's like, how about we just go to Game 3? I'll keep these 7.
Yeah.
You start shuffling again from 7 cards.
Oh, I don't think it works that way, Andy. I know you wish it. Looks like Rich Shea already won his match 2-0.
Defeating a Leovold deck. Daft to Leovold.
And his
Get
friends.
out. Get out of my metagame. How many cards are we even down to now? Is it a 2? No, it's a 1.
It's a 1.
Well, you know what? You keep that one. There's really not much point in mulliganing to 0.
Yep.
He's just going to play 1 cage.
Yeah.
Sure. No reason to play multiples. Let him get more information about your sideboard. Mystical Tutor for Brassman.
It is good. The Bazaar, though.
Oh, hello. So it was turn 2, he top decked the Bazaar.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably just an Ancestral? Or does he have a Tinker package? Just the Ancestral. Oh, Tinker doesn't work through Grafdigger's Cage anyway. Never mind.
Unless you tinker it away.
Fair.
Yeah, he does have the backup, so I wouldn't put it past him.
Andy draws 3. Plays another hate card.
Might as well.
Oh, I mean, there is a Bazaar over there now, so.
Yeah.
Lotus out Dakfaden.
Sounds like a play. He just wants to find that proactive spell so he can start trying to kill Andrew.
How much does he actually have to win with?
Looks like, I mean, he has the young Pyromancers and the Snapcasters and the Kess, although I'm not sure how many of those stay in, especially the more expensive ones.
Yeah, bringing in Grafdigger's Cage, you probably take the Kesses out.
Hey.
Maybe you want a 4-mana 3/4 flyer.
Yeah. Sometimes just attacking is good enough.
Discarding Grafdigger's Cage to Dakfaden. That's how far ahead Andy thinks he is.
Yeah.
And he did find Young Pyro, so
good.
This should put a couple of turn clock. It's no Monastery Mentor, but
No.
it'll get the job done in a couple of turns.
Yeah, it's something.
Bazaar finds... Is Dakmore Salvage the only dredger there?
Yep.
And now we get the dance of, all right, Brassman has a Tormod's Crypt, so at some point he can just destroy the graveyard, wipe it out, exile it. But you'd rather wait, right, until Andrew Hurd's actually getting some value out of it. There's no point.
Exactly.
And with Grafdigger's Cage, he's not getting that much value out of it yet anyway. So from the Dredge side, you wind up having to make your graveyard juicy enough to get him to blow his Tormod's Crypt while still making sure your deck has enough tools to win the game later.
Yeah. So it's a weird song and dance that they have to play right now. And he just keeps drawing artifacts, not really being able to churn out any more tokens yet.
Yeah, I saw him yesterday at the old school, and he said, yeah, I'm playing a bit of a brew. It's a bit of a brew.
Good. I like brews, especially ones that you can't see on Magic Online.
Yeah.
We're seeing something here.
All right.
Okay.
This is the sideboard package. Oh, the mental misstep for Nature's Claim.
Yeah. Paying the blue for it and everything. So.
Gets a token, stops the Nature's Claim.
Yeah, it just makes the clock a little better.
Post-sideboarding games against Dredge, I find surprisingly interactive.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty interesting puzzles, especially from the Dredge side.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're going down cards with this Bazaar, but there's only a couple of spells in your deck you actually care about casting, so you have answers to the hate that most people bring to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the sideboarding that they do is particularly interesting. It's just like how much of their game plan they want to take out for the second game in order to kind of anticipate and then kind of reevaluating that for the third game. It's interesting that Andrew chose to keep in Fate Stitcher, assuming some kind of hate out of Andy.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I've seen enough. That seems reasonable. I mean, there's both the Tormod's Crypt and there's still a cage. And Andrew had, he found the Nature's Claim. So at some level, his game plan was use my Nature's Claim on your Grafdigger's Cage, sacrifice a chunk of my graveyard to your Tormod's Crypt, then I'm going to have to rebuild and actually go off. But
yeah. But by the time all that happens, the young Pyromancer's probably going to seal the deal anyway.
Yeah, I mean, once the misstep came down, he has to now go find another Nature's Claim. Can't really win from there.
Yeah, Andy discarding the other Grafdigger's Cage to Dak Fane and kind of showed how in control he thought he was. So
fair. But can you win another post-sideboard game, Andy Probasco?
Yeah, that's the question.
It's kind of the Dredge Gambit. Your game one, in this matchup, Andrew Hurd's game one has to be over 90%.
Oh, yeah.
95%?
Yeah, pretty up there because Andy's deck is not fast, so he can just create that clock immediately. I don't really see anything in Andy's main deck that disrupts that well. So.
But yeah, that's the trick. Can you win a sideboarded game with the Dredge?
Exactly.
Or can you win both the sideboarded games from the blue side?
So the one thing that Andrew did not see out of the sideboard yet is Ravenous Trap.
Sure.
As the one of, so we might see. He saw 2 Grafdigger's Cage and a Tormod, so he knows what to expect in those. But Ravenous Trap is probably one of the ones that really gets people sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, at some level, you hope you get to take a pot shot with Cabal Therapy from the Dredge side, but it's very hard to play around.
Yeah.
So you kind of, at some level, you can try to play around it a little bit. Mostly, you just have to hope they don't have it. That is, you have to at least build a saucy graveyard.
Yeah.
Once your graveyard's great, maybe don't maybe skip that last Dredge. You have the good upkeep Bazaar Dredge. Maybe just draw a card during your draw step rather than feed more.
Yeah. You want to have resources later in case that happens.
But yeah, their trap's always going to get good value. It's a Library of Alexandria draw for Probasco.
Interesting.
Library on the draw sounds great in all. Not in the Dredge matchup. Is he even going to keep? Nope.
Not with that look.
Such a good draw in other matchups, but way too slow for this one.
Both players mulliganing. Not as surprising out of Andrew, but it'll be interesting to see just what Andy is able to pull in the early turns and how Andrew's able to fight it.
Never fun to watch this much shuffling, but on the other hand, this is an important part of this matchup.
Yeah.
The turn 0 mulligan decisions are definitely a big deal.
Yeah. Dredge is interesting in that aspect of just especially with the sideboarding. Dredge, as much as people know what Dredge is bringing to the table, it really is just a deck that is trying to play a different game 3, and trying to mulligan into a entirely different plan.
All right, let's see what the 6-card hands have.
That Shattering Spree's still in there.
Huh. Well, you know what that is? That's a hedge against Hollow One.
Yeah.
Like, why would you have Shattering Spree in your deck after sideboarding against Dredge? Like, well, what if they play 4/4 artifact creatures for 0?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? I don't want to just die.
Right. Yeah. It's amazing what I mean. Andrew's deck has been showcasing a lot of the tech that that Ryan Glacken used at Eternal Extravaganza 7 with the sideboard Nature's Claim main deck Fate Stitcher, and that was a Hollow One sideboard. So Andy's completely right to keep that one on his mind and keep that card in his deck.
I mean, it's the wrong read in the current context.
Yeah.
I don't know about completely right. I know what you mean.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Andrew Hurd, meanwhile, still did not have a Bazaar of Baghdad. His deck doesn't function without one. He needs to be able to put cards into his graveyard to get the Dredge engine started, so he'll just keep taking mulligans until he's got Bazaar of Baghdad. Works out, it's like 94, 95% chance to find one before you run out of mulligans to take.
Yeah, Serum Powders really help towards that number.
Yeah.
Andy seems to be in good spirits at the start of this third game, judging by the we're waving around. All right, let's see if this 5er has the Bazaar in it.
Nope.
Powder,
Powder, though, yeah. So he gets 5. Troll has been exiled. A Thug. 5 more exiled.
Yeah.
Another Serum Powder hand.
And God Chewer came in, which is smart.
Right now, Brassman's like, all right, 10 cards. Let me see. What do you not have? Okay. There's 1 bridge gone. Elish Norn is gone. Check. Kind of a smattering of a little bit of everything. Not particularly bad for Andrew Hurd. And there's the Bazaar. So he's going to get to keep his 3rd 5-card hand.
Yeah. Looks like I think I see 2 Bazaars in that hand, if I'm not mistaken.
Have we gotten a look at what kind of hate Brassman's working with this game?
All I saw was Shattering Spree so far. So
that's not much.
Yeah.
Not anything, in fact.
No. Wrong kind.
There's a bridge. Is there a dredger? Oh, it's Dread Return. Not a bridge. Stinkweed him.
There you go. Okay, there's a dredger. Good.
He's got a dredger. No, he does have a bridge, right? He's got a Dread Return, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty good 5.
Right, and more importantly, there was no Graph Digger's Cage, so.
Right.
All right, Stinkweed Imp drenches another Stinkweed Imp. So the second draw of the Bazaar is going to be good. Couple of Fate Stitchers.
Yeah, he kept the
Dragon Lord Kolaghan, a bridge. Now, now Andrew Hurd's thinking, okay, does he have a Force of Will? Does he have a Ravenous Trap? Because Andrew Hurd is going off.
Yeah.
There have been no hate cards that coming out of Andrew Probasco so far.
He's still missing. He's missing the Cabal Therapy, and from the looks of it so far, the 3rd creature to actually cast Dread Return. But
fair.
But if he gets there,
I don't think we're at his draw step though. That was the Bazaar.
No, that was
Now we're done with his upkeep, and he's got another Bazaar in his hand, and he's got a land for Fate Stitcher.
Right.
Fate Stitcher's the 3rd creature, I think. By the way.
Oh yeah, good point.
Fate Stitcher can bring back the other Fate Stitcher.
Yeah, and there's a Cabal Therapy.
And an Archimedes. Wow.
Okay.
He hasn't even used his land drop yet. He's already got 2 Narcomoebas. I mean, at this point, Andrew Hurd is like, okay, now what can I play around? Like, how safely do I want to play this? He doesn't play the second Bazaar. He just plays the Undiscovered, which I guess is functionally another Bazaar given the Fate Stitcher. So, Unearth's Fate Stitcher, Untapped Bazaar. Yeah, we're just done.
Represented.
Brassman's like, no, I got nothing.
Wow.
He had a Shattering Spree because he was afraid of the Hollow One tech and had no ability to deal with the kind of Plan A dredge draw.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Mulligan to 6. I guess he wasn't feeling safe going down to 5 to hunt for it. So, I